Are you gonna sue DogPack?
Not done draft.
Look at this guy. Am I being old by just saying I hate the way he's sitting there?
These sort of allegations have hurt the philanthropy's ability to get sponsors and fund new projects.
That, like, spooked off a lot of people because they're like, oh, so this charity's not authentic.
If they can prove those damages, DogPack's about to get f***ing... He's like, they left the lights on when I was sleeping. Well, I sleep with the lights on all the time because of monsters.
I posted that video with the allegation. I was like, I'm not so sure. I went on Oopaville's channel and I was like, yeah, I wasn't sure about that one. And
why would you even make that accusation? I don't understand.
They're gonna reach out to me and say they want me to say that it was consensual.
Well, with a voice as sexy as that, who could resist? Jimmy had just originally refuted majority of the claims that DogPack made, which were clearly false. He wouldn't be in the situation where now he's finally going to talk about it, but now he has to talk about all this crypto, which looks incredibly shady on his part.
Latchkey Goth Boy Cyber Katie Lure Reloaded
Papa Gut. Alright guys, let's go. It's another Willard Mac video. It's also Thanksgiving, so I can't wait to eat this scrumptious video up, man. But yeah, it's Thanksgiving. It's not going to be Thanksgiving when I post this, but yeah, let's have a little bit of fun. Let's have a little relaxation. It's the end of the year. Things have dialed down. We're taking it easy. Next year, though, you know how it is. The beginning of the year, that's when the drama really starts. So we're kind of in a chill maintenance mode. But let's get this going.
This video is about accountability for DogPack, Rosanna, as well as...
You think that the ad of this video is going to be watches again? What do you think it's going to be?
MrBeast. Jimmy has finally confronted the allegation.
Bro, I honestly couldn't even watch the MrBeast, like, the actual video. I'm talking to Oompaville. It's too long, and I'm not that interested in, like, MrBeast. And also, he just kind of looks like a dick. I don't know, the way he sits. I'm not trying to be, like, an FBI analyst or whatever. But I just, the way that he sat there, it just came off so, I know this sounds so petty. It came off as just so, like, full of himself. I know, that sounds so stupid. Like, you see it, you can even see it in, like, the first few seconds of here. Like, it just bothers me. He had his leg up. I don't know. I must be getting old, because I'm just like, ew, what are you doing? It would have been so boring, too. I'm interested in the situation, but, like, the DogPack video is really good. I'm not interested in, like, the, I'm not interested in sitting through it, though, you know? Oh, sorry.
Fronted the allegation. Many were put to rest, like him knowingly hiring a convicted predator. But
yeah, he was just kind of an idiot who hired the guy because he was cool at Best Buy, and he figured Best Buy would have regulated that. They wouldn't have hired someone like that. I'm not surprised that they did, though. Again, I think he could get tax cuts for that, so.
Other answers he gave relating to his crypto allegations come off as downright deceptive.
And he doesn't disclose, one, that he set up a pre-sale and he's like in before anyone else, right?
Oh,
millions of dollars. Two,
well, he's probably not going to, because there's probably would be like a legal aspect to it.
that his fund had been selling and continued to sell after that tweet.
Then we got DogPack, who was repeatedly caught misreporting claims from CGI to charity fraud accusations and falsely labeling MrBeast higher-ups as convicted domestic abusers.
What a guy.
He's also made some of the most reckless CP accusations I have ever seen, making him and Rosanna look like freaks for putting it in the thumbnail. It's gotten to the point where there's no other way to cut it.
Well, guys, don't you know you're supposed to put CP in the thumbnails of your videos? It really drives up the engagement, okay?
DogPack and Rosanna are acting in bad faith. I've never supported another creator getting sued, but...
Are you gonna sue DogPack?
Not done draft.
Look at this guy. Just look at the way he's sitting. Am I being old by just saying I hate the way he's sitting there? I hate it. I feel so old.
It up, but once they're done,
He's just so full of himself,
more
dude.
than likely, yeah.
this does put a smile on my face. Now, there are also accusations that Jimmy still hasn't addressed, like LaKoya Hill and the victim holding out for hush money.
I've spoken to the victim, but the victim was trying to get hush money. MrBeast, I guess, was for him to say it was consensual, and I have a recorded phone call with him where he's talking about that. I mean, you'd have to, like, distort his voice and everything to use that.
So, you were right. They are gonna come to that.
Wow, this is so credible.
They're gonna reach out to me and say they want me to say that it was consensual.
It sounds like Darth Vader gargling cum. What the hell is this? This is so stupid.
I was able to get an unsatisfactory answer from Jimmy on this, but in a roundabout way, it leaves me very unhappy. This sort of thing always makes me feel a little dirty.
Here we go. What's the ad? It's gonna be soap.
That's why I need something minty, cool, refreshing.
Oh, it's a vape. Why didn't I just assume it was a vape? What the hell does it matter with me?
Like Fume. The holiday season is here, and if you're like me, you might still be looking for the right gift for friends and family. Fume is a flavored air device that is fun and perfect for anyone looking to break a bad habit. No
Looks like a little wiener.
batteries, no vapor, no nicotine. What I love most about Fume is the ultimate fidget toy. It has an excellent weight to it, a magnetic body, When you twist it, it makes this satisfying noise. It has a stand which is equally fun to fidget with, and I didn't even mention
My favorite fidget toy is just screaming in Walmart, you know? Just really loud and saying, I'm stimming, you know?
there's tons of flavors and varieties.
That's my favorite one.
I use it most when I'm working and I start to get restless or bored instead of getting up to get another
You got a honey glazed ham vape for today? Are you trolling? That sounds kind of interesting.
snack or a fourth cup of coffee that I definitely don't need. I instead play with the fume a bit, get a little stimulant of flavor, and I'm right back to work. So
Do I still have my Willie Mac hat? I do have my Willie Mac hat. I forgot about it. I totally forgot about it. I wasn't going to wear a hat today because my head feels like dry. But I do have it. Go buy Willie Mac's hat. I totally forgot about that. I forgot about that meme. It's an actual nice hat. Like, I'm not even trolling. Thank you for $5 from Jackass Vito. Happy Thanksgiving, Papa Gup. Enjoying dinner with Grandma and Godfather. 2. Are you saying you're with your grandmother and watching Godfather 2? Either way, Moses, pray for us. Guide my Arizona business trips with wisdom. Thank you, brother. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope it goes really well. My my mother, my mother-in-law, my brother-in-law, my wife's aunt are coming over, so in a little bit, so I'll be fun.
whether it's helping someone break a bad habit or just a fun toy for the office, Fume is the perfect gift for the holidays. So give the gift of better habits by going to tryfume.com/WillieMac or scan the QR code and get a free topper when you sign up for the Journey Pack today.
QR code.
Thank you, Fume, for sponsoring this video. All of these allegations towards MrBeast have been filtered through DogPack, Rosanna, and Jake Weddle.
Yeah, 3 people I don't like. I haven't liked Rosanna, whatever her name is, since she was crying like a baby about the MrBeast competition like 2 years ago. I was like, dude, you're like 40. Like, chill out. Like, you're acting like a baby. It was just childish. I don't even remember the specifics. I just remember like, wow, this is like a legitimate grown child. She was sitting there crying like, I feel like opportunities are out for me. It's like, shut the fuck up. DogPack guy, weird from the start. I said something and people like cried about it because you know how these things are. You know, MrBeast is supposed to be the enemy, so if you're like, hey, this seems like kind of stupid, people like shit down your neck. And that other guy just looks like somehow shittier iDubbbz. You know? It's like, how do you do that? How do you even do that? How do you even do that to yourself? No, but what was he crying because he did a competition he could have pulled out of? He's like, they left the lights on when I was sleeping. Well, I sleep with the lights on all the time because of monsters. So fuck you, dude. That's all I have to say.
One of the first pieces of advice I and many other commentary channels told DogPack was that you're dealing with anonymous victims and witnesses, meaning that they're relying on your credibility to get their message out there.
Yeah, and he doesn't have credibility as a content creator, so nobody would listen to him.
DogPack has since let them down. He falsely accused James Warren of being convicted of domestic abuse because he didn't want to wait 14 days for a Freedom of Information request.
But it doesn't say on the, I guess, the public registry what it is. So you have to submit a Freedom of Information request, which then takes like 2 weeks.
So why wouldn't you just do that?
So that's the real reason. I just showed like more corroborating testimony. I mean, it is testimony. I feel like the disclaimers were pretty clear and like they were genuine, like it is allegedly.
Also, when you can, look at the James Warren domestic violence case against his ex-girlfriend. He apparently abused her for months before she filed charges. This person is alleging that there was a domestic violence charge. That means it's up to you to find it before you post it to 3 million people.
Yeah. Obviously. And people are so like hate bonering for MrBeast that they're just going to take everything as a fact right off the bat.
They dodge all accountability. When I made these criticisms, Jake Weddle left a comment on my video saying, "Oh my god, they're millionaires, who cares?" Mockingly saying life ruining, unless they go to jail, they will be fine. So
Alright, so I guess it's okay to say defamatory things about people as long as they have money. I mean, I care much less about people with money and even less about people that are poor. Because fuck you, loser. No, I'm just kidding. It's not about that. It's about like, is it right or wrong what you're saying? It's like, what are we doing here? I don't understand. Thank you for the 6-month small gut from Lukey. Would you rather Skibbity to Ohio or Jelk to Biden? Definitely Jelk to Biden. Dude. I love joking and I love to Biden.
just because they're rich, it's okay to make false accusations? They're still people, Jake. It's such a mean-spirited way to justify.
Especially since this guy's definitely trying to make money. It's not like he likes to pretend that he doesn't want to be like popular or successful. He's definitely trying to make money, so.
Their actions. DogPack would follow this up, going on Rosanna's channel and making more false allegations, saying
Yeah, and Rosanna is just as much at fault.
Ava was posting CP to the group chat.
You know that Jimmy's John Smith. I'm going to get to the messages, starting with this sexually explicit photo of an alleged 13-year-old.
Oh my gosh.
So Ava Tyson sends a photo of a young-looking girl in a sheer top.
Ivanka Trump when she was 13.
Yeah, and the message reads, so this photo is allegedly of Ivanka Trump when she was 13. Ava thought that this was possibly a 13-year-old, and she's posting it in a work chat.
And you're posting it on YouTube. When this video was first posted, the image was not blurred. It looked like how Dawson posted it on Twitter. Now,
So he thought it was CP, but he didn't blur it. That's so smart. What a fucking guy.
when I first saw this, I noticed how they looked like professional photos, like it was done for a magazine. So I doubted.
Yeah, that's what it was, right? I think it was a magazine, and it was like Ivanka Trump in like a photo shoot when they were like 18 or something.
She wasn't an adult here. And as it turns out, that would be true. She was 18 doing a magazine shoot. But it's important to remember that everyone thinks she is 13 here. They think this is CP. So they only read one sentence of what Ava says to make it seem like she's a pedo, and everyone in the group chat is fine with it.
So this photo is allegedly of Ivanka Trump when she was 13.
Why would you ever send somebody a picture of a 13-year-old topless?
Having Ava Tyson saying, oh, this photo is allegedly Ivanka Trump when she's 13, and it's clearly sexually explicit. You can, she's wearing a see-through top. That's insane.
That is wildly inappropriate.
But if you actually go back, pause, and read it, it's Ava going, holy shit, isn't it crazy that John Casablanca's modeling company is getting exposed on Twitter for this? How is this not being addressed?
Wait, so Ava's just speaking out against misinformation there?
And
Wow.
on
Or is it misinformation now? I don't know. Okay. Interesting. Has been accused, but reverse searching the image only brings 54 results. Most are just message boards, blah, 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 blah. This thread is a nightmare. Oh, okay. So it looks like somebody is going after the photo agency or whatever, saying that it was a 13-year-old, but it was actually 18. They're calling him a pedophile. And then Rosanna and... Okay, they're just doing the same thing. Incredible. Great guys.
Casablanca's modeling company is getting exposed on Twitter for this? How is this not being addressed? And if you take a second to think about it, DogPack and Rosanna are doing the same thing. They downloaded what they thought was CP, edited it, and censored it in post, and then uploaded it. But instead of posting it to a group chat, they uploaded it to all of YouTube.
Why would you ever send somebody a picture of a 13-year-old topless?
Why would you repost it to YouTube? Testing which version would clickbait people the best? They read a...
Yeah, obviously they didn't even... What's funny here is that based on this, it suggests to me that they never thought that she was actually 13 in that picture, and they knew they were lying if they were comfortable enough to put that in the thumbnail. Like, it's all content to them. They don't care. They know that the internet is on their side. We even have that other guy, that weird-looking, the guy on the right, DogPack, saying he doesn't care because these people are super rich. So they know what they're doing. I guarantee you, I would be willing to bet that they know what they're doing. They know that MrBeast, they know that they're in the wrong here, but they're lying because they think they can get away with it because the internet is on their side. That's literally all this is. It's sussy.
Law saying that is legally CP and reported Ava and Jimmy to the FBI.
Images of CP are not protected under First Amendment rights and are illegal contraband under federal law.
That image was suggestive.
Yeah, in my best judgment, if this is a 13-year-old, as Ava alleges, I would say that this constitutes a CP, in my opinion.
I have reported what I found.
Yeah, in my opinion, this constitutes... I'm a good guy. Okay, great.
My concerns to the authorities, FBI. Hopefully they will look into these MrBeast Telegram company chat logs and other concerns, which again, you guys committed the same crime here. It only took 1 hour after this video was posted to find out that Ivanka was actually 18 and that it was just a magazine shoot. Despite all of this, the video remains up. The false James Warren claims remained up until a week ago. It is constant misinformation. The lack of care for the truth is appalling. They are so willing to make charity fraud accusations with such little evidence. MrBeast Philanthropy built 100 wells in Africa, and because the editors reused the same shot twice, well, that means it must be fake.
Really, the most damning thing is,
Bro, it's so funny because there are already so many people that were like anti-dick riding MrBeast. Like, they hated him for all the charity he was doing, saying it's not enough, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, he's doing a nice thing. Who cares? And this is just a continuation of that, except now everybody thinks that MrBeast is bad, mostly because of Ava Chris Tyson. Like, that's where all this started. Ava Chris Tyson is a weird degenerate. I don't think they're a predator or a pedophile, but they're a weird degenerate that pulled negative attention onto MrBeast, and this is where we're at. And that just kind of spiraled into like this fucking insane situation.
against MrBeast is that he has faked parts of his philanthropy videos in a way where he's making it look like they did more than they actually did. Here's one where he claimed to build 100 wells, but in multiple shots you see the same wells listed as different wells. Well 29 and 67 were the same. He also said...
Did he do the 100 wells or not? Is that what you're saying? He didn't do that?
He built a bunch of wells in Kenya, but then showed wells that were clearly built in Zimbabwe.
Like, bro, you need more evidence than a shot being reused. Maybe the film crew couldn't be there. Maybe the footage corrupted.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. All I really care about is, hey, did they actually have all the wells? And you want to know what? Some people could say, like, hey, you know what? This editing makes it brings it into question. It brings into question he actually did that charity, which maybe you're right, but like we're listening to DogPack. This person's entire existence needs to be questioned when it comes to anything that he says. So I'm never going to take what he has to say as anything. That's it, as anything. It's worthless. Everything he has to say is fucking worthless. The guy's a moron, so.
Beast claims it's an editing error.
Yeah, I think like one or two of the wells we accidentally showed this like same well.
It probably wasn't an editing error. It was probably like a, like, oh, we're being lazy. Which, again, I don't care about as long as he actually built the wells. Who gives a shit? Thank you for the small gut from Robert Strong for 1 month. Hassan reacted to Willie Mack through... Yeah, I'm not watching like a 3-hour-long like crybaby show. I'm so bored of Hassan, dude. Like, he's so boring. That's it. That's all I got. It's just like, I don't feel like engaging with everything he has to say. It's just so ridiculous.
Well, as different numbers. But once again, like I said with the blind thing, like, why would I spend 98% of the money and then just fake 2 wells, like, and destroy the entire integrity to save, like, 2%? Anyone who made those...
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Those videos, like, saying the philanthropy's fake, like, that's the one that bothers me the most because we go so above and beyond. Like, honestly, if you could just delete them, like, that'd be great.
These sort of allegations have hurt the philanthropy's ability to get sponsors and fund new projects.
That, like, spooked off a lot of people because they're like, oh, so this charity is not authentic. Because, like, obviously people don't want to work with a charity that's not legit.
This video is also still up. This investigation...
I mean, if they can prove those damages, DogPack's about to get fucking fucked. He's going to be screwed. If they can prove that that's real, DogPack is screwed. And I'm happy about it. That guy's an asshole, so.
That DogPack and Rosanna have been running is so scuffed. DogPack admits that he's just been slinging accusations at the wall and hoping one sticks. He says LaQuia Hill was roofing people because one text claimed it.
I posted that video with the roofie allegation. I was like, I'm not so sure. I went on Oopaville's channel and I was like, I wasn't sure about that one. And
why would you even make that accusation? I don't understand.
And then people had reached out to me and it was actually consistent with certain victims' stories, I guess, from people close to the victim.
Why?
I guess. Why would you? I guess. we love I guess accusations, guys. I guess they're pretty consistent. What the fuck? Thank you for $10 from Big Mac. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, brother. Thanks gooning, he said. Happy Thanksgiving, brother. Happy Thanksgiving.
Why are you posting accusations you aren't confident in? It's psychotic. Rosanna says that people are breaking bones at the Beast games because a message said it. No other evidence.
The messages that I have received from
yeah, I'm sure that they would be able to hide that.
contestants on the show are pretty much all telling a similar story.
Whoa.
And I find them to be very disturbing. I saw people with broken bones, stitches, etc. And most were women.
Jimmy claims his company called back all...
Well, I guess they had osteoporosis. I mean, if this was true, this would be very easy to confirm because there would be hospital records. What?
All 2,000 contestants and they couldn't find one broken bone.
It's like crazy to think that I'd be like, oh, 10 people broke their bones? Let's keep filming. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't even make sense. You
don't even have to think MrBeast is a good person, but MrBeast is a smart businessman. So even if you don't think he's like a good guy that would stop the Beast games if 10 people's arms broken or whatever, he is so worried about the optics that like he would never act like a bad guy. That's where it comes down to. I don't know if he's a good or a bad person, but MrBeast is so optically driven that he's not going to do things wrong just for the motivation to continue to be able to push his brand. It's like you don't even have to think that he's a good guy, and he's shown that consistently. Like I remember when he did things where like he gave people a bunch of money when they couldn't do like a particular show that they couldn't film and all this other stuff that was from the original video, the other video rather. And it's most likely to just preserve his integrity as a content creator, which makes sense.
Like that claim came out, like we literally called 1,950 contestants of the 2,000. We couldn't get a hold of all 2,000. I couldn't find a single broken bone. It's even crazier is then people tried to, not like the contestants, but
I like Oopaville, but that interview was terrible. It seems like Oopaville is not a great interviewer in general, but
the internet, you know, their theories tried to frame that as hush money. Like I gave them all $2,000 to like make them happy because we didn't tell them beforehand, like to surprise them as they got eliminated. And then people are like, you just did that because of hush money. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, I also didn't give them like legal paperwork tied with it.
They called everyone back and decided to offer an additional $1,000 per person to make up for any of the inconveniences.
This doesn't even make sense. What does someone with broken bones have to gain from staying anonymous? Surely the show would cover those costs. Even claims about Delaware, a convicted predator MrBeast allegedly knowingly hired and protected his identity with a mask, was a completely checkable claim, but DogPack went live with it anyway.
Why do you call him Delaware? I didn't know. Apparently they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. He'll be in videos. He'll be in thumbnails. He'll be around. And whenever he is, he's wearing a mask. Why would you wear a mask? Why would you conceal your face? It's like, what are you concealing? That you are a registered sex offender? And that your face can be looked up on a thing?
Maybe he was thinking that. He's like, hey, MrBeast, wouldn't it be cool? Jimmy. Wouldn't it be cool if I wore a mask in my video? Oh, okay. You know? Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
How much more can you literally cover up a sex offender?
This is just not true. This guy's name is just Delaware. It's on his name tag at Best Buy. Delaware did also wear a mask, but only for one video, and it's because it was shot in an insane asylum. It was a bit. DogPack couldn't find a single other video with him wearing a mask and still went live with this accusation. What gave this story
what a stupid asshole, dude.
credibility was another former MrBeast employee and Delaware's cousin named Jake the Viking coming forward saying Jimmy knew the whole time. Before being hired, Delaware sat down with Jimmy and Sue, Jimmy's mom, and explained to them everything. So yes, Jimmy knew. It wasn't until Jake the Viking admitted in DMs with Connor X that he doesn't know if this conversation ever happened.
Bro, the internet is crazy. You know, I think I 90% blame these people, but then like I also partially blame people who are willing to like eat this information with no evidence. People are so like drama hungry that they're willing to like accept anything without any actual evidence. So I'd say still 90% the fault of these people making these false accusations, but also like 10% of people just consuming it, maybe even more, because nobody's holding them any truly accountable. Most people don't care. Most people are like, oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not bad. Like they don't give a shit. Nobody's like coming after them. Like I hope that they get sued relentlessly by MrBeast until they are nothing more, because like we really need to push back against this kind of like ridiculous pushing of disinformation at this point. It's ridiculous.
Saying that he was just told
hey, what's up?
Likely by his cousin Delaware. I have no proof of this, only what I've been told. Everybody is just spewing bullshit, acting like they have first-hand information on things when they don't. This video is also still up. Tons of creators, including me, repeated this misinformation because these three talked out their ass. There is zero remorse from these people. I want to take a moment and do a rapid-fire compilation on how DogPack was wrong about everything. DogPack would secretly record an employee gossiping about Delaware.
The person on the other end of this line is a different former MrBeast employee talking about Delaware. Also, apparently before this phone conversation
Terrible state, by the way. Terrible state.
got recorded, the person on the other end of the line said that the MrBeast team was actually trying to expunge Delaware's record off the registry, and that's what actually like sparked this person to start recording.
I can't with these voice changers, dude. It's like we're in a fucking party city speaking through one of those weird little microphones that changes your voice. Like, what are you doing?
Serial took the time to get the full context by interviewing that same employee. The truth is, the employee didn't know he was being recorded and was just talking shit. None of this is true.
Yeah, I mean, people do that all the time. They talk shit, they sensationalize a little bit. Like, yeah, my boss is an asshole or blah, blah, blah. It's not that big of a deal. It's very normal. A normal human being that works a job would understand this.
Can you tell me a bit about how that happens?
Yeah, it was not to my knowledge that I was being recorded at all. It's just a friend. We're just shooting the shit, and, you know, we're just gossiping a lot, catching up on, you know, the current drama. I don't think any of the stuff that we were talking about really had any facts or like evidence. It was just water cooler talk.
DogPack claims a contestant got scammed out of dog food for life.
There's one example where someone on Reddit posted saying,
oh, yeah, and then they removed the post because they ended up getting everything taken care of once they reached out to MrBeast.
saying that they were promised free dog food for life in exchange for letting MrBeast use them in a video. 5 months later, they still haven't received their dog food. I actually sent this post to someone who works at MrBeast, and they said they were going to send it to the PR team, and then the Reddit post got taken down.
Well, did you reach out to the Reddit user or follow up with the person in PR you contacted? No, of course not. It was just in the guy's spam folder. The new Feastables formula
What an asshole.
is more
doesn't know how to check his fucking spam folder.
healthy than Hershey's.
MrBeast changed the formula again to where it has mostly the same ingredients as Hershey's and even more sugar and more calories per bar.
Well, compare it to the same size bar, you moron. DogPack claims that a lot of the videos are fake because they use CGI.
This explosion is fake.
Like, where is he
What? That explosion was fake? Are you serious?
DogPack claims that a lot of the videos are fake because they use CGI.
This explosion is fake.
No way, dude. That definitely looks super real. I don't understand. Who cares? Who cares about like zhuzhing up your video a little bit? It doesn't mean that everything is fake. This is like pretend idiot world this guy lives in. This is ridiculous. So dumb. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Like, where is he getting these claims from? Jimmy shows the raw footage and it is a real explosion.
Shit, I thought that was a fake fucking explosion, dude. I look like an asshole now. Fuck.
Just added these extra sparks.
Shredder is CGI.
They actually did shred a Lamborghini. Just watch the video.
This car is digitally lifted.
It's not. The YouTuber who built the car documented the whole thing. They recolored.
Yeah, and he was so upset too. He did, it's like, oh, so much good work just to make sure that that thing, like, you know, ended up having that interaction, like flipped the way that it flipped. And he just got devastated on that. That's his whole life's work.
The car blue in post because they had 2 red cars. But otherwise, I don't know where he's coming up with this. DogPack claims that contestant who won $1 million was left out to dry by Jimmy because he said he was going to help him invest and he didn't.
I was telling him, I was like, man.
No, he asked him to help him invest, and Jimmy's like, I don't know. Like, you already gave him $1 million, dude.
And I don't want to fail. I don't want to.
Because it was one of those things where, like, obviously, you know, there's money and then there's what you do with money. And MrBeast has a lot of money and he has a lot of connections to be able to push his money further than the rest of us do, right? So this guy, it seemed like he wanted to utilize MrBeast's contacts to some degree to try to invest better, which is not an unreasonable question to ask, but like it's also not unreasonable that MrBeast wouldn't want to do that. You know, that's quite a bit of you know, information that you get out of that. So that's pretty much it. It's not really that deep. He doesn't have a responsibility to help him invest. Like, what is he supposed to do? Like, run stock options with him? Have like a fucking meeting every week? He got $1 million.
Be like how everybody's saying, like, I'm gonna run out of money and do all this crazy stuff. I was like, man, Jimmy, please help me. And he said he was gonna help me and we was gonna invest, but yeah, that didn't happen.
11 days after DogPack uploaded this video, the contestant responded saying Jimmy was still helping him.
Jimmy still came through for me anytime, and even to this day, if I need something, MrBeast is always there, and I really need y'all to understand that.
MrBeast put him on a salary where he doesn't even work at the company, on top of the $1 million he gave him. Another example.
Why, MrBeast, why are you doing all this? You're such a weirdo. Stop helping people. It's pissing me off.
Of DogPack just going out on a limb is him claiming Jimmy's surviving 7 days on.
Well, usually when you give people like a big sum of money, you'll usually give it to them over a period of time. So I don't, was it he gave him $1 million plus money every week or whatever, or a paycheck, or what I think it was, and I could be wrong about this, was that he just gave the guy his money over a period of time, which would be helpful if you're like, oh, I'm going to blow through this money. He'd be like, okay, then I'll put you on a salary where you'll get all this money over 10 years or something. Right? You know, maybe that's the way he helped him. I think that's what it was, but I could be wrong about that. So, you know, don't fact check me, guys. All right, my name is DogPack.
On a Raft video was fake. What's his source for that? He just doesn't see anybody on the raft.
During this time lapse on the 4th day of 7 days stranded at sea, you can clearly see there's no one in the shelter. These are their empty beds. But after a hard cut, magically 5 people are awake, and 2 of the boys have bright yellow raincoats that they didn't have when it rained on day 2.
Wow, who would have thought that they're going to edit down multiple days down to like 10 or 15 minutes for it to be more consumable? Holy fuck.
After standing the whole night completely soaked.
You didn't spend the night soaked, Jimmy. You slept on the production yacht.
The truth is they were off the boat for an hour due to a lightning storm. It was for safety reasons. DogPack revealed months later that he knew this the whole time.
And it also makes sense to make the shot of them waking up without them in the tent, because it makes it easier. It just makes the shot easier so that nobody's like rustling around or fucking around. They probably sat there and recorded that like empty tent for like 10 minutes, and then we're like, okay, we're going to use this like 5 seconds of the clip. You know, maybe they were waiting for the wind to die down, blah, 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 blah. That's what you usually do. They're probably just going to get like a bunch of like generally unnecessary footage for that reason. It makes perfect fucking sense. Like, what the fuck? Thank you for the 20-month small gut from Katie. Enjoy your day off, Tubby Bumpkins. Okay, thank you.
The boys left the raft during the storm for 4 hours, as per his source. If you were upfront with this information from the beginning, I don't think your audience would think that being off the raft for 4 hours means you faked a week-long challenge. So why did DogPack's allegations gain so much steam? Well, it's because he frames himself as a credible first-hand source. I worked
for MrBeast for like 2 weeks. Okay.
For MrBeast. He goes on Ludwig's stream and acts like he can't talk because of NDAs.
Okay, so you're assuming based off the screenshot, because they weren't in it, that they must have been off the boat, presumably in a yacht that I guess the crew who was helping produce this video was on, that was parked off camera nearby, and this is like a theory about it.
You're definitely controlled opposition.
Is that not what you just said? Or do you have like someone who knows that
You're definitely controlled opposition. Someone gives him any level of pushback. He's like, you're an FBI plant. This is the Matrix. What a weirdo.
there was a yacht and you can't say it?
All right, go next. Go next.
Like, go next question?
Yeah.
I can't. You're just skipping everything and then calling me autistic.
What the fuck?
Well, because you can't read context clues. It's not my fault.
They're so willing to be dishonest and withhold
You can't read context clues? Dude, this guy's a fucking scumbag.
information. I disproved most of this in my first video. Soggy disproves all of it. Check his video out. It's a masterpiece. My only criticism is that he was flown out by MrBeast employees to do the interviews, and he was not upfront about it until he was asked.
Obviously flew.
Yeah, I mean, he could have been more upfront about it. Sure, I can see people being like, oh, that kind of lacks credibility, maybe. Because you're working with MrBeast or something. Like, oh, it brings your credibility to question. I guess it could. The fact that he didn't, like, bring it up originally, I guess could. But, like, overall, it's, like, it's fine. Like, I don't really care. That's the biggest thing that people got against him. I think we're okay. Thank you for the 1-2-month medium gut from Angry to Angie Tosi. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Have a blessed day. Hey, have a blessed day, brother.
To America, right?
Yeah.
Did you cover those costs yourself, or did MrBeast in any way pay?
I'm gonna be honest on that, since it was last moment and very expensive. Dustin, as far as I know, paid for those.
In the video, he framed it as him booking the flight. But even still, the facts he brings to the table are undeniable. DogPack's videos need to be redacted. Title change, something. But that doesn't mean that MrBeast is completely in the clear.
Give it up, ballsy balls. Give it up, ballsy balls.
MrBeast doesn't once address the LaQuoya Hill allegations, and it's because Oompa doesn't ask about it. The allegation is that LaQuoya Hill sexually harassed his assistant. This allegation jumped to a full-on roofie and rape claim. In fact, the alleged victim even gave a statement to DogPack saying
I don't even remember that.
that he'd say it was a consensual if he got hush money.
Spoken to the victim, but the victim was trying to get hush money. MrBeast, I guess, wanted was for
He was trying to get a hush money? Well, that definitely ruins your credibility.
him to say it was consensual, and I have a recorded phone call with him where he's talking about that. I mean, you'd have to like distort his voice and everything to use that.
So, you were right. They are going to come to that. They're going to reach out to me and say they want me to say that it was consensual.
Soggy did it.
But he wanted hush money for that? Wow. Well, with a voice as sexy as that, who could resist? Am I right? What is this? It's insane.
Interview someone on MrBeast HR team about it, and she claims that the victim didn't want LaQuoya fired and that it was nothing about grape.
The assistant, like, what do you want to happen, right? If it's this, if it's that, like, obviously if it's found, like, he's gone. Like, that's not okay in any workplace, you know?
If it's like confirmed that there is something.
Like, of course, like, we're not going to hang on to that, right? And so, and he was like, yeah, I don't necessarily want him to be fired, but, like, I don't want to be around him.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Well, first of all, thank you for the 22-month small gut from Land of Lakes. Second of all, Caleb Hammer. Jesus fucking Christ, bud. I love you to death. You don't have to give me a $500 donation from fucking Caleb Hammer. Oh my God. Well, I do appreciate it. If you want the money back, you can have it back. Do not worry. Okay? You can put it whatever you want to do. That's a lot of money, brother. That's a lot of money. Okay? You got to invest. What's your financial score going to be after seeing that you just wasted $500 on a fucking obese YouTuber, dude? What the fuck? Well, thank you, Caleb. Happy Thanksgiving, Papa. The turkeys are gobbling and we are gooning. Incredible stuff. Jesus Christ, that's fucking insane, dude. Well, I appreciate that a lot. Holy fuck. That's crazy. Okay, I'm going to invest it into the new Haktua coin. Okay. I think my my credit card just claimed it was fraud. That's funny. Well, that's okay. I still appreciate it. Okay, don't worry about it. If it claims it's fraud, it didn't go through. It's fine. All right, guys. I'm gonna be investigating into the Haktua coin. I don't know why I'm like plugging the Haktua coin because I'm not actually gonna buy it. Then you shouldn't either, guys. So, thank you, Caleb. I love you, bud. I gotta respond to your Instagram message.
I don't want to see him. Like, it's just really uncomfortable for me. I actually worked with him to come up with a list of, like, jobs.
That's Caleb, his hush money to me. Like, from DogPack or something. I don't know the meme.
that he wanted, because again, if the person who he's assisting is not here, like it's like, okay, well now what's your job?
So they moved LaQuoya to a different company and then brought him back when the victim didn't work there anymore because there was no longer that conflict.
Okay, I mean that makes sense. Sometimes you have conflicts at work and you got to separate people. It's not that big of a deal.
Assistant worked with us for a long time, and then when he wasn't here anymore, I think it was like almost a year after the assistant like had chosen to do whatever he wanted to do. Then we were like, okay, we'll bring LaQuoya back to help, because at this point there's no conflict anymore.
But I still have questions. Is the victim DogPack spoke to the same employee? Did MrBeast pay the hush money? Also the timeline. But
well, MrBeast seems to give people money for no reason. Like, this is one of the biggest issues with MrBeast. He just seems to constantly give people money. And the reason I called it criticism is because it makes him look guilty, but he consistently does it all the time. Like when that crybaby bitch complained because he was doing the challenge where he had to sleep with the lights on or whatever, some stupid bullshit. MrBeast ended up giving him more money as some kind of restitution, but for what? A lot of people will interpret that as an admission of guilt, but it sounds more like MrBeast, maybe he just likes to give people money. I have no idea. But it seems more like he just has no problem giving people money when they ask for it, which has got its own problems in and of itself. But
between these two statements just doesn't make sense to me. I recently had Oompaville relay these questions to MrBeast, and he just isn't going to respond. I then had Nick reach out and ask him questions, and he said, Jimmy's afraid that if he makes himself available to comment for everyone, it will just further extend this.
Well, I mean, that is kind of smart. That does kind of make sense. He can only give so much information. Like he's gonna listen to somebody like Oompaville. He can't listen to everybody's question. I mean, it kind of does make sense in general. He's got to be a little bit careful, even if you think it's the wrong play. It makes sense to do that. To not open yourself up to everybody's conversation and questions. It's just like, okay, I will talk to Oompaville specifically. So
don't talk to everyone, just answer the questions. These are pretty serious allegations. I feel like it's important. Jimmy also apparently told Nick in the call that he didn't pay hush money to anyone. He did not confirm if this employee was the same one that DogPack interviewed, or if drugging and rape was ever an allegation made to HR. In the interview, the employee sounds like he still worked at MrBeast, while in Soggy's video, they state that the employee left a long time ago. I would be more satisfied with an official statement on record.
Yeah, that would be nice. But here's my thing: is that like DogPack is the one that's pushing the original claim, and he has zero credibility. So I just don't care. I really just don't care. I mean, it's like this claim that DogPack made. Well, no claim that he makes is ever credible. He has to go beyond what most people would have to go to in order to make me think that he has a credible claim. Like, it's so tired that people will constantly this guy's lied like 50. Every single thing he said is a lie, except for probably one or two things. So why would I care about any fucking thing that he has to say? It's just meaningless to me.
That's my opinion. Another thing MrBeast is looking shady on is the crypto stuff. His answers are just not at all consistent with what he was saying in 2021.
Didn't pick what punks to buy or anything. Gary Vee,
See, when it comes to CoffeeZilla, that's somebody who has an extraordinary amount of credibility. And so MrBeast, based on what CoffeeZilla has said, probably did some shady shit. So
said on that podcast, called me and a bunch of other people, said CryptoPunks were the next big thing. I thought it was pretty crazy, but the first thing I did right after that is just called the guy in charge of the fund who invested my money in.
Did I just babble? No, I think that that just fucking babble for a second. I'm I lost my brain. When it comes to CoffeeZilla, if he makes an accusation, it's going to be generally credible. So there's definitely something to it. But DogPack has none.
He did the research, picked what punks to buy, bought them. That's kind of high level how it went. But, if he was like, oh, this is a shit investment, then he wouldn't have bought them. So,
all right, I cannot tell you how weird this answer is in hindsight, because you basically have to completely disbelieve what Jimmy says in 2021 to believe this story.
His answers in the interview do not portray the reality of what happened.
But you rewind a little bit, MrBeast is on Twitter.
So this is why MrBeast probably should have responded to the DogPack allegations much sooner, because we didn't have this crypto situation going on until now. So if Jimmy had just originally refuted the majority of the claims that DogPack made, which were clearly false based on Soggy Cereal's video, he wouldn't be in the situation where now he's finally going to talk about it, but now he has to talk about all this crypto shit, which looks incredibly shady on his part. Just like, what, just idiot. What are you doing?
They're saying, I bought this CryptoPunk. He's on the podcast saying, I bought multiple CryptoPunks.
That I bought a bunch.
He's on the podcast saying,
I've already sold quite a few of them.
I rolled the money into VFriends.
So then I rolled the money into VFriends.
And then even more crazy, he says he specifically bought certain CryptoPunks because he liked their attribute, like the cigarette one. He's like, I like the cigarette
I love cigarettes.
CryptoPunk.
The cigarettes, because I thought that was an interesting attribute.
But here he said,
Probably want to get legally sound. I mean, maybe, but it kind of maybe, and it's possible. The thing is that he didn't come into this until after the other guy came out with his information. So it seemed like he was waiting for the atmosphere to be more charitable to him, which it certainly was at that point. But I don't know, man. It just comes off as like a little. It just comes off as stupid, you know.
saying, "Oh, I didn't even know which ones to buy."
I mean, if anything, that you could use that as an argument of like, well, MrBeast didn't respond until after, you know, the cereal guy made his response, and MrBeast did pay for the cereal guy to go there. So maybe MrBeast paid the cereal guy. I don't really know. Doubtful, but I don't know.
I don't know which punks to buy or which ones we should buy if it's a good investment.
Jimmy is hiding from accountability by blaming his fund, but he was clearly playing an active role in that fund.
Frustration here is the
It's also possible that like he was talking himself up, or what is it, from 2021, to make himself seem like kind of this, or however old that interview was, like he was a cool badass guy. Like, yeah, I was doing these investment, blah, blah, even though he's an idiot, has no idea what he's doing, right? Like, or he's not an idiot, but you understand what I'm saying. Even though he wouldn't necessarily know what was going on, like he wouldn't be an understanding of like how to invest, you know.
fact that anytime there's a problem, it's all the fund. I did nothing. I had nothing to do with it, etc. But when you actually look at these investments were all talking about Jimmy. Like it wasn't about, oh, there's multiple stakeholders, it's Jason Williams. No. It was all MrBeast. And that's the criticism that I think he's not engaging with here.
There's a coin called Super. Jimmy was invested in the pre-sale of this coin. As it went live, Jimmy was selling, and he continued to sell, selling the coin as he was promoting its viability on Twitter. And Jimmy won't even acknowledge that he should have disclosed that he was heavily invested in Super while he was promoting it.
Why did you not disclose that you had a vested interest in the coin that you were tweeting about? Super.
Great question. What is this answer?
Question mark. Yeah, we'll start there.
Well, I replied to a tweet, so I did tweet it out, and I think a lot of people.
Wait, you did tweet it out? You reply? This is such a weird distinction. You'll see multiple times.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in the original CoffeeZilla video. It was definitely shady. The crypto thing seems to be rather shady because you're supposed to disclose if you're, if you're advertising something. Although I guess he wasn't technically. I don't know. Like you're supposed to disclose if you have some kind of, if you're getting paid to advertise it. But I don't know. I mean, maybe he just invested in it, and then he did like a quote tweet or something, and like maybe he did like a word. It just seems scummy, right? Because if you're getting paid to advertise something, you have to disclose that. But technically, Jimmy probably wasn't getting paid to advertise something, but he was still actively supporting it by saying, "Hey, I bought this one," which kind of, you know, it comes off as a little bit shady. Well, I think that's what I remember specifically. So he should have been more upfront, but there's probably some kind of legal loophole that he's operating in.
He kind of goes like, he'll engage with something that's not really the criticism. The criticism is, well, why didn't you just disclose you had tons of Super? And you'll see he bends over backwards to not answer that question.
People, you know, that are just getting second hands of the story think I literally tweet out, go buy Super, go buy Super. Yeah.
For me personally, I just don't understand why people would buy crypto coins at this point. I mean, they're like super shady always, no? Like, isn't it just like a less regulated stock market? And that's the whole point. It's incredibly volatile so that you can make a lot of money, but then a lot of times you just lose a lot of money.
The fund did hold some Super, and I just saw that was the owner of Super, the guy who made the coin, and I just went scrolling through Twitter, just replied Super to his tweet. I did not tell people to buy Super.
Wait, no, stop. So first of all, does not answer the question of like, why didn't you disclose it? Such an obvious disclosure. And he doesn't disclose, one, that he set up a pre-sale and he's like in before anyone else, right? Millions of dollars, he's in. Two, that his fund had been selling and continued to sell after that tweet. Like the most irresponsible, even if you want to give him ultimate master benefit of the doubt, incredibly irresponsible, and there's no way that a single person did not see that, and multiple people, I'm sure, see the biggest influencer in the world talking about this, some great low cap coin, eye-watering prices. He's responding to.
Yeah, of course he's doing it on purpose, but he probably has like legal plausible deniability.
And they don't see that as a buy signal from MrBeast.
That should be obvious. Jimmy also just seemingly lies about his charity NFTs. The Team C's charity did an auction for NFTs using Eternity and Earn tokens. Both things MrBeast was partnered and invested in. Now the charity was a flop, only selling 2 NFTs, and during one of the sales, MrBeast charity fund dumped all of their earn, netting the charity over $2 million. Jimmy just lies about this.
Eternity gave us NFTs to auction off for Team C's. Only one sold after like a day, I believe, and that was it. And then it looks like the fund sold like 27 days later. A little bit of Eternity.
This was the craziest part of the interview, in my opinion. He says, "Oh, we sold after the charity. The one NFT sold." Not true. Then he said, "We only sold a few tokens." Also not true. They sold $2 million. And then on top of that...
Oh my God, what a scumbag. What is... This guy's... MrBeast is an idiot.
And here's where you can actually see the dates of all this stuff. You can see the offer was made on November 2nd. Is that what he's referring to when he says, you know, oh, we sold it? But because that's not actually true. The sale did not happen until December 23rd, 2021.
That's crazy. Thank you so much for the 17-month small gut from Spunky Monkey. Happy Thanksgiving, Papa and Mama. Thank you. I appreciate that, brother.
After the fund sold. So this whole idea he's going to say multiple times where he's going to go, oh, we didn't sell anywhere near the charity time. First of all, that's not true. Second of all, it's just literally false, and NFT sold after the fact. So this whole defense of his is based on misinformation.
Which is ironic because that's the whole point of the interview, debunking misinformation. CoffeeZilla makes clear that what MrBeast did isn't illegal, but it is shady.
I'm not even saying that this was an explicit pump and dump.
Well, yeah, that makes perfect sense. That sounds like that's completely in line with MrBeast and like what he is and what his moral code is. And like, I hate to say it, but I don't think that MrBeast is a good person or a bad person. I think he's just a normal person. A lot of times when he does good things, it seems like they come from the motivation of looking good to build a brand rather than necessarily being good. I'm sure part of him does want to be a good person, but that seems to be it. And that's why he'll seemingly play the lines or toe the lines when it comes to the shadiness of particular crypto deals. He's not doing anything seemingly illegal, but he'll kind of toe the line. But it also seems like why he'll give people lots of money even when it's not part of a challenge, not even to shut them up, because I think he interprets that as him doing a good thing. But that's what it seems to be. It seems to be a lot of his shit is just like an optics play. At least that's how I interpret it.
Don't think we have enough evidence for that, but we do have evidence that this is extremely shady. You are crossing some influencer ethics here.
There's nothing nefarious there.
Yeah, it sold $2 million of the earn token.
Yes, obviously. It's like the most obvious comeback.
Yes, the fund did 20.
Oh, now there it is. There's the fund. Hey, the fund did. You know whose name is on Eternity? Not the fund. It's MrBeast. That's why the criticism is here. It's MrBeast the whole way. It wasn't Nick Rose, the CEO, going, hey guys, this rocket fund is investing in us. No. It's MrBeast. MrBeast is supporting this drop through his charity, Team C's. I cannot understand why we can't get to a basic, like, hey, I'm taking the L on this one.
Jimmy has admitted that he...
Well, of course he's never going to do this. He's never going to take an L on it. He's not going to do that from a legal standpoint. He'll only take an L if he has to,
He's watched CoffeeZilla's video on him raising concerns.
People who don't like me, like he said in the video, are not going to like me, and they're going to run with it. People who do like me are going to be like, oh, it was managed by a fund, and Jimmy has answers for everything, which, I mean...
No, he doesn't. Wait, that's not what I said. I said if you want to believe MrBeast, there are scapegoats at every turn, which I do believe is true. You can just believe that, Jason Williams was in charge of everything. And I think that's probably somewhat true. Like, I think there's some truth to that, but not everything. That's the point.
Yet Jimmy just ignores CoffeeZilla. All the times he reached out, ignored. It's so funny to watch a whole interview where Jimmy's like, my biggest regret is not responding sooner.
Definitely would imagine that you would regret have not making a response early.
Oh,
right?
100%. I definitely could have handled it better. Like, I probably should have, the second I could have talked, I don't remember the exact date, 2 or 3 weeks ago when we put that report out, probably should have done something like this right then. If I could go back in time, I would.
But then he doesn't respond to CoffeeZilla's questions. He doesn't respond to my questions. He tells Nick if he takes an interview with one person, then he has to do an interview with everyone. So he can't do it. Why? It's so dumb.
Well, I mean, it makes sense for him to do CoffeeZilla's questions. So, like, just when you look at it, Oompaville and CoffeeZilla are like very large, credible content creators. Willie Mac is obviously better than them in every way, but he's a smaller content creator, so it makes sense. It makes sense for MrBeast to not field questions from somebody like smaller, like Willie Mac, or somebody that's like even smaller, like me, you know, content-wise, not fatness-wise. But he doesn't have an excuse to not respond to CoffeeZilla. That one makes no sense.
Like, you obviously wouldn't have to do that. Now, I want to make clear, Jimmy not answering these questions does not mean he's guilty, but these demons will haunt him until he addresses it.
I mean, he could just say, like, hey, it's a legal thing, I can't really respond. And I'd be like, okay, that makes sense.
MrBeast is suing DogPack.
Are you going to sue DogPack?
Well,
wow, what a response. Very dramatic.
There's tons of examples of him intentionally manipulating things to not be true and posting it online. Tons and tons and tons of that. It's just unfortunate. Like, I don't want to be put in this situation, but
I don't think that MrBeast is going to sue this guy, to be honest with you. I think that he's just like playing it up a little bit, but I don't think MrBeast wants the hassle of actually suing him. I wonder if he's afraid of anything that would come out in Discovery or something like that. I don't know.
Probably gonna have to.
Now, I have never supported suing another creator, but DogPack has participated in so much defamation, he deserves it. Rosanna posted a response on Twitter. Now that MrBeast has responded after 4 months, I want to take a few days and see what his approach would be. It appears these were his main steps. 1. A broad public statement from his lawyer. It wasn't really his lawyers, it was a third-party investigation, but whatever. 2. An expenses paid trip for Soggy Cereal to interview MrBeast employees.
Did she sweat?
Also known as excess journalism. Soggy should have disclosed that he was flown out. But if the information is correct, why does it matter? What does it change? Engage with those points. 3.
It just needs to, it's just enough for her to be, she just wants to be like, she just wants to cast doubt onto Soggy Cereal's video because it makes her look like a fucking moron.
Coordination with commentary channels with MrBeast, asking them to cover Soggy's video. I mentioned before there's a large group of channels who coordinate behind the scenes to defend Jimmy. She is conflating two things. One of them is the Tea Party commentary group chat, which I was in. It has nothing to do with Jimmy. If it was, he would have—
Rosanna is a commentary channel now. Like, I don't know why she's pretending she's not.
Answered my questions. She's just making it up. MrBeast did, however, separately DM commentary channel Soggy's video. I agree that it's cringe, but if the information is correct, what does it change?
Yeah, nothing. It's just like him playing within like the cringe commentary community standards, I guess.
Or a very favorable softball interview, also known as a puff piece. Okay, but what did Jimmy get wrong in it? She never engages. One thing you'll notice about this approach is not a single victim was interviewed across the hours of videos. Like who? Your Bones victims that Jimmy can't find? She doesn't have a single victim.
Why wouldn't those Bones video people, whatever, why wouldn't they just come forward then?
That isn't anonymous, besides Jake Weddle. And Jimmy's tried his best to make it right with him. Now this whole drama is probably going to be pretty quiet for a while due to lawyers getting involved. And it's still a mess. DogPack and Rosanna are liars, pushing disinformation, and because of their poor coverage, it's discredited the only victim Jimmy hasn't addressed. He might not have to now. Depending on how much charity you're willing to give Jimmy, this stuff along with the crypto might just seem like a reach that doesn't need to be addressed.
No, well, here's the way I look at MrBeast is that like he's a typical rich guy that does like shady crypto shit. He tries to make money as legally as he can, but engaging in some shady shit. And you know, the rest of the DogPack shit was probably like almost all fake, and nothing really matters from that. That's honestly how I look at it. There's probably nothing of like actual concern from any of those DogPack videos.
But if you hate Jimmy, the silence is deafening. So tell me what you think. Subscribe to the channel and buy a fume. Shout out to the homies over on Patreon. Phoebes, Crimson Glass, River, Christina Vina, Mac Monkey, Frank Kovacs, Necro Valley, Stefan Bildman, The Confusing Opinion, Eddie Bizzle, Tiz McFitz, Christopher H, TV Anthology Reviews, Kanklemore, Sentinel Music, Lucas If, ET Automatic, Snoopy Poop Doop 2, Mer ML Bay, Deep Pocket Jew, Rudy Boo, Ruish Sharon, Clown Factory, Monkey D Luffy, and the mega homies Reynolds Hughes Hellison, IGP Your Taxi, Latchkey Gothboy, Cyber Katie, Lore Reloaded,
Papa Gut. Incredible.